Is AI going to take my job? That is what every single personal trainer is thinking right now. So I have loaded up the free ChatGPT, which is probably the most used one, I think. We're going to ask it, what do the general public want to ask personal trainers the top 5 questions about running? All right, without further ado, what are the top running? I can't spell public. And here we have it. We're going to aim to, in about 60 seconds or less, answer each one of these to the best of my ability. 5 questions that recreational runners most commonly want to ask a personal trainer or running coach tend to revolve around performance, injury prevention, and motivation. Based on common coaching experience, search trends, and frequently asked questions in running communities, these are the most common. 1. How can I run faster? That's a very broad spectrum. I think we should have put it at like 5K running at the start of this, but yeah, how can I run faster? How do I improve my pace? Should I do interval or hill sprints? How often should I run each week? Why it's popular. Almost everyone wants to improve their speed, whether it's 5K, 10K, half marathon or marathon. Well, let's do these bullet points underneath. How do I improve my pace? Run faster, essentially. You're gonna improve your pace. You're gonna be focusing on recovery. You're gonna make sure your fast interval sessions or whatever those fast pacing sessions are probably split up over the week. You don't do too many of them because you're gonna make sure those runs are fast. We need you to be not injured. We need you to be recovered, have some nice sleep, probably hydrated, probably had some decent food around it. And even, people don't really do this, if you've got a hard interval session and you've gone in and you've carved up and you're going to be really going for performance and you feel actually I keep dropping off and I can't sustain it. Have a gel, have something during that session. Just because it's a session doesn't mean you don't have to. Because it's a session, if you're doing, let's say, one of those popular Norwegian fours, those kind of popular things, there's no reason why you can't top your glycogen stores up, get a hit of instant energy so you don't go off your pacings. That'd be a good little top tip from Tom. There's too many T's there. Should I do interval training or hill sprints? You should do both. In theory, interval training is going to be an easier thing to do because it's just going to be based off your Garmin or heart rate or whatever. Hill sprints would be wonderful. If you can find a hill that's long enough, that'd be really, really, really cool to do. Okay, how often should I run each week? I'd say a minimum 3. Anything upwards of that, which is going to be like, okay, if you don't think you can, if you can do 3 and can't do anything else because you're going to get shin splints or injury prevention or blah, 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 then we can do like assault bike work or concept 2 work. That's absolutely fine. We do cardiorespiratory work. That's cool. We can work around that, and we've got gym work to supplement. But 3 would be ideal, kind of a minimum. Okay. 2. How do I avoid injuries? Why do my knees or shins hurt? Generally speaking, the most common thing for why do my knees or shins hurt is because it's an increase of running volume too much too soon. That is the absolute golden rule of most people do. Okay, they go out. They start a running plan, such as a runner that I have talked about extensively on my channel, and they give you too much volume from going right out. They don't do run walks. They don't do little light jogs. You don't build a big aerobic base at really slow speeds for a good month before, which is giving you contact time on the ground and allowing your muscles to adapt. Because one of the big things in plyometric training, which is running, there are lots of little plyometrics, is we need to do kind of landing adaptation, which is the thing that screws you up. So we haven't got enough absorption of the impact on the ground, essentially. You can also go and run on grass, on a track, hopefully, that's nice and bouncy, instead of on the concrete the whole time, which would be pretty cool. And we start to come to people like me, who implement gym strategies to get around or get by these injuries, okay? How can I prevent runner's knee or shin splints? Okay, don't run as much. Gradually build up the volume would be fantastic. Start to implement general global strength will go such a long way, and it's the thing that you skip, and then start doing these tiny little magic exercises that like tib raises, all these kind of things. So tib raises, calf raises, all these things before you've gone out and been able to do 60 seconds of a goblet squat with 30% of your body weight. Cool, go do that. Go be globally strong. Being able to do a push-up, being able to do a decent deadlift at to a body weight, something like that is gonna be a good thing rather than being ultra specific too soon. Should I stretch before or after running? Yes, that's absolutely fine. I'm assuming like none of you are going to be going for world records. That's fine. Do what you feel is most comfortable. I'll have a little stretch dynamically. Absolutely fine. Go do it. Yeah. Number 3, what's the best way to start running or improve endurance? Cool. How do I run longer without stopping? That's just simple repetition, honestly. Like, you're gonna invest in a decent pair of shoes. That'd be nice, so you're not having that. Make sure you fuel up before you're going out, like about 2 hours before. Have like a bagel, some jam, some peanut butter, something like that. Maybe a little gel. Have some electrolytes. Don't pick a really hot day. Go out early in the morning when the temperature is low and you don't have to struggle to breathe. Be a loser like me and wear those things, okay? That would probably be, because probably what's gonna happen is cardiorespiratory system is gonna lag before like everything muscle-wise, okay? How quickly should I increase my mileage? There's kind of like a global rule of like, I don't know, 5 to 10% per week kind of thing, but it's however long you've got until your event, if I'm really honest. Like, if you've got an event booked in, you need to hit that goal, like that, if you're just trying to hit the total distance by the end, or if you're trying to hit like a certain time, just however long that is, you shouldn't have a time frame on it, okay? But globally, like 5 to 10% would be absolutely amazing. If it's slower than that, then I couldn't care less. If we're running it like, for example, I might not move the total distance for 4 weeks of somebody, but you bet your bottom dollar that I'm changing those interval sessions and running different tempo sessions within that, so we get faster, for example, on the same amount of total volume of running. Cool. So it does depend, unfortunately. Sucky. Can beginners train for a 5K or marathon? Yes. Yes, they definitely can, okay? Couch to 5K is obviously there, but it's just a set, as long as you do it smart. I've got a lad who's come to me almost like a year before he's got his marathon booked in, okay? Beginner, cool, and we're taking our sweet time and doing it properly. And we're reaping the rewards already. We're 3 months in, touch wood, no injuries, 5K PR, booked a half marathon. That's an awesome thing to do. Number 4, what should I eat and drink before, during, and after a run? Should I run on an empty stomach? Ideally not, I don't think. So before a run, I would say, like, generally speaking, like an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe before, you're thinking like some sort of carbohydrate meal, get some glycogen in you, so that's gonna be the first thing that's gonna go, maybe something like that. And then I'd say an hour to 45 minutes before, electrolyte yourself, perhaps if you need it, maybe some Lucozades, that kind of thing, Powerade, just to top you up, which is cool. And throughout the session, I would be sipping on that bad boy if you could, or a little energy gel, just because you're gonna be using like energy whilst you go. And why do you wanna hinder, unless you're trying to lose weight, don't hinder the performance of the session. The whole point of the session is to perform and do something to a certain degree. So do it, yeah, 100%. After you run, just go get your meal in, dude. Like, go carbs, protein, get like 30, 40 grams of protein in that meal within like a 2 hour kind of stint. That's absolutely fine. What are the best recovery foods? Go have a bunch of chicken and a load of like rice and nice veggies, please. Go, all good, all good. Do I need a sports drink or energy gels? You don't need them, no, you don't need them. If you want to perform perhaps a little bit better, there's something that you can look at. And like we said, intra workout, fantastic. Just having a little sip, stuff like that. I know there's one nutritionist that absolutely advocates like applesauce throughout. So it's something that's like really quick carbohydrates that kind of gets into you. It's better than nothing. So yeah, 100% I would. It does have a noticeable effect. I did my 70.3. I ate so many calories that day. Throughout on the bike, sipping, whatever, bars, everything. It depends how long your runs are. If you're only fueling yourself for a 5K, chances are you're not gonna have an energy gel. It's just gonna be quick enough to get into your system whilst doing that, okay? They either need to take that 10 minutes before to make sure you're topped up to the max of glycogen. If you've got a 10K, maybe that's gonna happen, okay? You might have it 10 minutes or 15 minutes in and it'll get into your system for that last little bit of the run, like when you're trying to hit like a wall of some sort, which would be fine. And the last one, what shoes and gear do I actually need? How do I choose the right running shoes? Go find what's comfortable. For my first ever like bout of running, I went into like a Sports Direct and did the most basic thing and went on that, told me whether I was flat-footed or high arches kind of feet, and it gave me a bunch of stuff, which was fine. And I actually bought the shoes and they served me well. It did me for about 2-3 years. Pretty good. But if you really want to go in, like I'd say an everyday runner would be cool. That'd be your starting point. Then something perhaps that you can go a little bit faster in. And then the next one should be something that's really nice and spongy, okay, that you can go the long runs in. And then you can kind of rotate them. Cool. So if you've got those kind of like easy runs, you can go in the everyday runner. You can have your interval ones, which are going to be a little bit slimmer, a little bit more contact with the floor, but maybe more bouncy. And those long runs are going to be done because there's a lot of contacts on your feet and those really spongy kind of like you're running on clouds kind of thing. When should I replace them? I think I Googled that. I don't really know. I think on like most of the Garmin apps and stuff, it actually tells you when you should or how much mileage that you've done in them because they do die. To put that in perspective, I had a pair of Nikes and I'd worn them for all my interval sessions because I've got race day shoes that I don't really wear for my sessions, only on race days, shockingly. And before the run. So I am a child and I got excited about buying these new shoes, real to come out. So then I was wearing them and my Achilles were getting absolutely fried. And that had never happened before because the bounce had just gone, okay? Telltale sign if something that is feeling like, oh, that's actually getting a little bit sore, which normally doesn't, maybe the shoes have died, okay? Especially after like quite a few months, cool, or years, which is in my case. Are GPS watches or compression gear worth it? GPS watches are 1000% worth it. You don't have to get a super fancy one. Garmin's can be like, they start at like 150, 250. I would rather you go and get one of those and it has a bunch of data on it. You're able to pace stuff a little bit better. You're able to work with the coach a little bit better. It is something that is really fantastic. Essentially the heart rate is really cool as well. To see that you're getting fitter is one of the really motivating things that you can do. Compression gear worth it? No, I don't. For most runners, not, no. If you particularly have blood flow problems for recovery, it could be really cool. But especially if it's like the Nord stuff, but most of the time, nah, that's not worth it. Watches, definitely worth it. All right, honorable mentions. How do I stay motivated to keep running? Run with people, run clubs are great. Running is good for weight loss, yes. How do I breathe properly whilst running? Put a nose strip on or start to box breathe. Should I strength train as a runner? 1000% yes. How long should recovery days be? A day? That's a bit weird thing to say. What's the ideal running form? That depends. You go look at like marathon runners and whatever. They've all got slightly different style, but yeah, pretty much. There is a little thing that we could talk about, but maybe in the how do I train for my first marathon? That's a completely separate video. Wonderful. Thank you so much, guys. If you've got any more questions or you liked any of those answers and you want to know more, comment down below and we'll talk about running, I'm sure, in the future.